Again, I know it's not Thursday, but still got to give you a weekly show. It's Kid Gravity, the B1 Night Rider. So much to talk about, so much to get into, but we'll start it off the way it should be started off. So I won't forget this time. Let me see. Yep. That's how it is. Just got cloudy. The sun was just out. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Like I said, we got a lot to talk about today. Joe Biden finessing. Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes talking about hip hop again and just telling lies out here in the streets. This student loan protection racket. Trump being blamed for the Belle Biv DeVoe. Oh, it's a lot. But before we start, if you saw the quick glimpse, if you didn't, I did a thing. People were asking, someone was asking me to do it. We should monetize our content here in the new black media. And I guess I am the latest person to do it. So yes, folks, I have started a Patreon. There's a lot of procrastinating, but I started one finally. So for now, there are 3 tiers. 3 tiers. We will go over the tiers in 1 second. Let me just get this stuff out. Let everybody know that I'm live. Let's see. That was 1. There's got to be a simpler way to do this, folks. I know it's easy to just make sure everybody's subscribed, but there's got to be an easier way. All this technology out here, there's got to be an easier way for us to just, when we go live, it just goes everywhere. But, you know, I don't think they've gotten that far yet. But yes, the Patreon is live, folks. And again, there's 3 tiers. So it says most popular is the starter pack, $3 a month. I'm going to try to not hit y'all in the pockets too much. So it says early access to video uploads before they go live at 6. Now, since I've been getting up there in subscribers, V Maltzby, hello. Since I've been getting up there in YouTube subscribers, they changed the times where they said that my videos would go and get the most engagement from 6 to 8 to 9 to 11. I don't like 9 to 11 because a lot of the content creators I follow upload between that time and I get kind of lost in the shuffle. So I just decided to just do it again back at 6, between 6 and 8. So what I'm going to be doing is I usually get these videos done the night before or early in the morning. So once they go on the Patreon, you guys will have roughly, I guess, between 10 and 12 hours to watch the video. Well, 10 to 18 hours to watch the video before everybody else sees it. Hopefully it'll help with the engagement some, but we'll see how it goes. So then we have In the Zone, and it's $5 per month. So you sign up for this, every live stream, I will shout your name out before I start. So usually after my quick or long monologue, I will say your name and then get right into the show. Say, XYZ, thank you. Hope all is well. And then get into the show. And then the high tier, Beyond, $7.50 per month. Now, this is where fan engagement comes in. You guys will be able to send me ideas. You will get everything from the 3 to the 5, but you will also be able to send me ideas and fan requests. So if you want to do it, ask me anything, you want a video of me like on the grass, things like that. Just don't go too crazy. Like if you want me to skydive, you're gonna have to. I'm gonna need at least. I'm gonna need at least 100 patrons before I do something like that. Even consider it. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Sign up for the Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon. I will put the link in the box. I think this is the one. Hold on. Yeah, I think this should be it. I will put it in the chat. I will pin it. There you go. So yeah, like I said, I did a thing. I'm on Patreon now. I did a thing. All right. So, CRU Realty. Hello. B1 to you as well. Jackson Harlem. Hello. All right, let's get into the show. There's been a lot that happened this week, a lot. So we got to get the important stuff out of the way first before we get into the actual meat of the show. So today's show is action-packed, but here we go. We're going to start. Now, this is a little bit of breaking news. I have to talk about this because this made me upset. Now, us in the new black media, we don't get enough recognition for the work we're doing. We put out a lot of great content, and it seems like social media does not want us to flourish because we basically just take what the mainstream media gives us, deconstruct it, and show you where the lies are. Can't have that. So all these social media companies decided that we're going to run a disinformation campaign squarely centered on those who want to debunk our narratives. And I should say it hurts, but it's not expected. So the latest iteration of this was not a friend to the new black media, not a friend. Folks, Zuckerberg went from California to Texas to talk to Joe Rogan. I think they did this, I want to say either yesterday or Tuesday. But yes, Mark Zuckerberg took his frail looking self to Texas to sit down with Joe Rogan for 3 hours and lie. So it says, now this is via the Independent. So this is, I think, a op-ed piece. But this week, multimillionaire podcaster Joe Rogan released a 3-hour interview with billionaire Facebook/Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. The interview was a surprise both because it was unannounced and because the two seemed ill-matched. Rogan is generally viewed as an anti-establishment dude, while Zuckerberg is seen as a robotically slick square. On social media after the interview was published, many Rogan fans were keen to emphasize Rogan is cooler. A number of tweets called Zuckerberg a reptile, a more than less intentional reference to anti-Semitic memes. But the truth is that most of the conversation was low-key and cordial. This shouldn't be a surprise. Beneath the difference in branding, Rogan and Zuckerberg are practically the same person. They're both extremely wealthy white men in the communication industry, yada, yada, yada. All right. Again, this is an opinion piece. Let's see what old Coon News Network said. Okay, in a rare and lengthy interview, Mark Zuckerberg spoke with controversial comedian and podcast host Joe Rogan about Meta's plans to release a new virtual reality headset, his newfound love of jiu-jitsu, and his company's decision to limit the reach of an article about Hunter Biden that came out in the final weeks leading up to the 2020 election. I don't care about the VR headset. We don't care. Let's see. Here we go. In addition to discussing VR, Zuckerberg was also pressed on some of the company's content moderation decisions. In one exchange, nearly 2 hours into the chat, Zuckerberg addressed his company's decision to reduce the spread of a New York Post article published in October of 2020 that made allegations about Hunter Biden. Zuckerberg said that the article's distribution was reduced for several days while it was reviewed by the company's fact-checking partners. You see how they tell lies? The story was verified, folks. It was verified. They limited it not because they wanted to fact check it, because they knew it was true. And they knew if that information got out, as much as people hated Trump, they were not going to want to deal with a drug dealer as the son of a president, because people tend to keep their indiscretions and their family's indiscretions secret while in office. And they knew that was going to be a constant question every day. How's Hunter doing? So basically, for 4 years, Biden, if he won, would have got trolled. But okay. Quote, for the, I think it was 5 or 7 days when it was basically being determined whether it was false, the distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it, he said in the interview. That's a lie. That is a lie. Again, he's lying, folks, because we saw the posts. People were putting it up. The links would not work. People would try to share it. It would say that this can't be shared. People try to even put it in the direct messages, and the direct messages would kick it back. So this is a lie. It was only after the 7 days, after the news got hold of it and started spitting the lie, saying it's Giuliani's fault and it doesn't exist, and going after the dude in Delaware that had the files on it. Then they said, hey, you guys can just put it out there because this is a fantasy story. Kind of like what they're doing with his daughter's diary, but we'll talk about that another day. RG Titan 901, hello. So let's continue with this article. and the lies that Zuckerberg is saying. The reduction in the article's distribution was addressed publicly at the time of its publication. Excuse me. In October 2020, Meta spokesman Andy Stone tweeted, quote, while I will not intentionally not link to the New York Post, I want to be clear that this story is eligible to be fact-checked by Facebook's third-party fact-checking partners. In the meantime, we are reducing its distribution on our platform. While I will intentionally not link to the New York Post, I want to be clear that this story is eligible to be fact-checked by Facebook's third-party fact-checking partners. In the meantime, we are reducing its distribution on our platform. Zuckerberg, the distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. You're lying. Sir, you banned people's pages for sharing it. People were complaining on Twitter that they put it up and then they got their account suspended. You suspended YouTube channels that just showed the article. Don't tell this lie on here now that that y'all trying to play revisionist history. Don't do that. Be upfront. And I'm gonna get to Joe Rogan in a minute. I want to finish this article because right now I'm fixing to call him the P word because he should have pressed this. But they probably shared a blunt beforehand. But let's continue. When pressed by Rogan about what it means for the distribution to be decreased, Zuckerberg added basically the ranking in news feed was a little bit less, so fewer people saw it than would have otherwise. Zuckerberg said he didn't know by what percentage off the top of my head, but said it was meaningful. So that would mean at minimum 50%, because a story like that would have gotten legs had you not messed with it. So instead of millions of people seeing this, a few million people saw it. And then you were able to control the damage by getting rid of the main pages that were putting it, including the New York Post who printed it. You locked them out of their account for a week and a half. Zuckerberg said the decision to take action on the story came after broader warnings for the FBI to be vigilant, given Russia propaganda in the 2016 election, which you caused. You were a part of that. Quote, we just kind of thought, hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, is very professional law enforcement. If they come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I'm going to take that seriously, he said. Facebook and Twitter each took steps to limit the spread of the story on their platforms at the time. Twitter's co-founder and former CEO Jack Dorsey later said his company made the wrong decision on the matter because you caught heat for it. You went from that to ban Trump. You caught heat for that. Then you said it was the wrong decision because your stock dropped. That's the only reason why you said it was a bad decision. People left Twitter. They ran to Parler. They ran to Minds. They ran to Gab. They ran to Rumble. Your stock tanked. That's why you said it was wrong. Because you swore up and down that Twitter was going to be a place where people can actually have conversations. And you went there and limited people having conversations. After fact checkers looked into it, Zuckerberg said no one was able to ultimately say that the story was false. The situation, quote, sucks, he said, in the same way that probably having to go through a criminal trial but being proven innocent in the end sucks. So you're admitting that the story was real. People were putting out pictures all day, every day. You banned their accounts. Then the news started printing the pictures. Now you're saying that it was wrong that you did that. Got it. 007 Spidey 2. Hello. PGH Big Dog. Hello. Yeah. All right, let's finish this before I call Joe Rogan the P word. He added, I think the process was pretty reasonable. You know, we still let people share it, but obviously you don't want situations like that. On Thursday evening, after Zuckerberg's interview with Rogan circulated on social media, Meta's verified communications account on Twitter responded to the tweets related to Zuckerberg's discussion of the Hunter Biden story. Quote, Mark testified before the Senate nearly 2 years ago that in the lead up to the 2020 election, the FBI warned about the threat of foreign hack and leak operations, the account tweeted. In the conversation, Zuckerberg also touched on algorithms and content moderation, as well as lighter topics like his morning routine and his family's love of jiu-jitsu. According to Zuckerberg, jiu-jitsu is a big part of who I am. Mark testified before the Senate 2 years ago that in the lead up to the 2020 election, the FBI warned about the threat of foreign hack and leak operations. A computer repairman in Delaware had the files. He wasn't no Russian spy. The damn hard drive was on American shores. It's not like he sent it to another country to get it fixed and got it back. Hunter Biden literally abandoned the damn computer. He dropped it off in his man's store and never went back for it. How is that Russian disinformation? This is the spin they're doing, folks. This is why we tell y'all a lot. Y'all gotta watch the trick bag. You gotta watch the finesse. But let's get to Joe Rogan, the PUSSY. Sir, you sat here. You've had over 1,500 episodes, gone viral several times. You press a whole bunch of people on things. You pressed Mike Tyson. You pressed Alex Jones. You pressed what's his name? Jesus Christ, I forget the dude's name. Almost to a fight. But you have a leading figure in the social media entity, which is part of the government, by the way, and you don't press him. This was the same. This is one of the same dudes, sir. And this is where your hypocrisy comes in. You were being targeted months ago. People were asking for you to get thrown off the air. This man had the power to throw you off the air by doing what his company did with the laptop. Not allow your clips and your shows to be circulated around on Facebook and on IG. I think they own Snapchat. I could be wrong. And you don't press him on that? He could have hurt your business model. You don't press him on that. You left California for Texas, which I'm pretty sure you didn't want to do. And you don't press him. But we're supposed to take you as this credible media source when you have the CEO of Facebook sitting across from you and you don't ask him hard questions. But I get it. And this is going to be the subject of the show today. Who are the approved? I know it's called the Finesser in Chief, but I need to talk about who are the approved. You became the approved, sir. You're not part of the grassroots anymore. You're not part, I'm not talking about the black grassroots. I'm just saying you're not part of the regular folk. You're not a voice for the regular folk anymore. You could sit up there and say all the cute little catchphrases and everything like that, get people to share your stuff. We can't take you serious anymore, sir. You sat up there, defended Dave Chappelle on many occasions. Now, what's next? Now, when Dave Chappelle does something, now you're gonna go after him, say he kind of wrong. That's gonna be the next step. That opinion piece. He said you sounded cooler. That means you might have got bought off. I mean, I don't listen to him, so I see why now people were calling you a supremacist. I just ignored your ass. Now I understand why people have been calling you a supremacist, a suspected white supremacist. This ain't it, bro. This ain't it. But anyway, I'm off this. That was just a little breaking news. But let's get into the show. We got to talk about this man, the Finesser in Chief. Oh, we got to talk about the Finesser in Chief. This man, boy, bisexuals. We got to talk. How do y'all get worked? For 3 years, we warned y'all, if y'all put this man on them stages to become president, y'all are setting up your own demise. And y'all sat up there and said anybody but Trump, and y'all fell for the finesse. Y'all fell for the finesse. Look at this finesse, folks. Biden wins. The inflation reaching that. We already talked about that. That includes your 87,000 armed IRS agents that are going to be doing raids all over this damn country for back payment of taxes that people already got paid off of. They're going to somehow audit everybody between 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021 because Trump was giving everybody money. And the economy was booming, especially in 2019. So they're going to want that money back because they're going to have to pay for that stupid bill there and for Ukraine. And y'all fell for that finesse. Chips and Science Act. I haven't gone all the way through from that. But again, that's another finesse. That's where your electric vehicles and all these other science acts that are going to tap us even more and not produce tangible results. The PAC Act for veterans. Yeah, okay. Guarantee you, because it's a 10-year plan, there's still going to be people on the streets in LA and Atlanta. First major gun safety legislation in decades. Right. By the way, I forgot about the first one, the Inflation Reduction Act. This right here, the militia boys should be watching this first one very carefully. I know a lot of them stay off the grid, but trust and believe the IRS is looking at receipts for guns. So 1 in 4 can be put together. They find out you got a gun, they come find you and come take your guns. I mean, IRS agents ain't gonna win against some militia boys. I'm just saying. All right. Took out the leader of Al Qaeda. Like, that is impressive. You're just doing what Obama did. Historic job growth. This lie. Folks, again, just because you're creating jobs does not mean people are taking them. Everywhere I go, people are still hiring. And trust me, I know when it was bad in 2008 and 2009 during the housing crisis, and people had to get all these second jobs, and all these companies were hiring. I know how bad it was. It was never that bad like it is now. But let him tell it. Historic job growth. You're just bringing back a lot of the jobs that were lost between the scamdemic and when you came into office, and now all these companies are trying to get back to normal by asking for people to come back to work. So this right here is a scam as well. That's inflated numbers. Historically low unemployment. Where have we heard this? Where have we heard this, folks? Historically low unemployment. But Black people are still disproportionately unemployed. Interesting. Expanded the NATO alliance. He puts 3 countries into NATO and thinks he's done something impressive. 3 countries that come wartime are really not going to help us. No shade to Sweden, Finland, and the other one. No shade. And Ukraine, no shade. But they can't help us. If Russia and China really pop off, they can't help us. The only thing we do is put a base in there in them 2 countries, in them 3 countries. That's about it. They can't help us. When Chernobyl opened up, Sweden panicked. Sweden has a massive migration problem like we're facing right now. They can't help us. American Rescue Plan led the fastest job recovery in history. Jason Black broke this down. I broken this down. This is a finesse. Because all it's doing is injecting our tax dollars into the American system just to make it look like that there's recovery there. But again, let him tell it. Let the ice cream man tell it. Confirmation of Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. There's your symbolism, Black people. I told y'all, watch out when that crime bill shows up. She's going to be the deciding vote, and she's going to sign off on it, which means Cop City is going to be all over the place. Gonna screw around and have Sylvester Stallone and the judges from Judge Dredd on the street. Rallied our allies in support of Ukraine. That's not impressive, sir. Bush did this. Bush 2 did the same thing after 9/11. Bush Sr. did the same thing going after Saddam. Clinton did the same thing when he went after, what's his name? What's the jackass's name? Over Kosovo. It's not impressive. Anytime this war to pop off, we have allies. Once in a generation infrastructure investments. Let me talk about that. Especially with my California people. Let me talk about that. I watched a documentary yesterday about homelessness. They're talking about building 3.5 million homes in California over the next 10 years. What is going to happen with all those homeless people? After you done spent billions of dollars trying to clean up that problem, the problem still persists. Even now, it's getting worse. You're talking about infrastructure investments. You're not taking care of getting the steel industry back on track, which is a major part of our industry. Because without steel production, you don't get cars, you don't get homes, you don't get skyscrapers that these white supremacists love building every other day. But yet I'm seeing all these cities talking about they're going to change their skylines, building these massive 200 floor buildings and whatnot. Shout out to Chicago. And Flournoy, hello. Nancy Pelosi jailed most of the homeless, and she's going to continue doing it. TWP Popcorn, hello. Everything is popping. Everything is popping. Y'all love talking about infrastructure. Infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to these idiots at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. The infrastructure is the people. If you don't have the people, you don't have industries moving, you don't have infrastructure. You don't have a foundation for the American economic system. I hate this man. I really hate Biden. I've hated this man ever since he was running with Obama. I never got the attraction with this man. I never saw it. Like they would put up those cringy ass videos of them wearing sunglasses, walking around, acting like they buddy. And then I'm looking at this man, Obama, and he said he know Joe Biden said that he a clean, articulate black man. And you sat there and you allowed that to ride. You didn't even punch this man in the shoulder. Not even one time. Said, watch your mouth. Quasi Blackstar, B1 to you too. But I'm watching folk tweet Biden asking about student loan forgiveness. Which, to their credit, they were tweeting him and said, listen, you promised 50K, sir. I don't see this 50K. He said he can't do it. We know why he can't do it. The Asians and the Jews called him up and said, we not, them that run that bank, they're like, nah, we're not doing this. Jamie Dimon and them said, nah, they're saying, we ain't going for this. You trust and believe they remember how y'all treated them in 2008 with the housing crisis. They said, nah, we got together. We said the one time they gonna need us, screw them. We gonna tell them to F off, and this is where they needed them. And they told them to screw off. Okay, then they went to 25. They told him to screw off again. Then they went to 10. They told him to screw off. Now he wants to run around and say, hey, 10 grand. Yeah, I'm gonna forgive 10 grand. Folks, 10 grand per borrower. Higher inflation than we got right now. Plus, it's gonna cost the taxpayer us hundreds of billions of dollars over 10 years. Money we don't have. We can print the money, that doesn't help. All that aid packages that he's sending over to Ukraine, he should have put it towards the student loan thing if he really wanted to help. Now you look at his plan. He said, okay, 10 grand if you make 125 or less. Payment freeze for the rest of the year, and a little hidden gem called Pell Grants. He'll forgive Pell Grants as well. And he'll freeze some payments on Pell Grants. Okay. Folks, Joe Biden and Pell Grants are like oil and water. Did you know that Joe Biden hated Pell Grants? Did you know this? Oh, yes. He does not like Pell Grants. He was in office with Obama. He agreed to get rid of Pell. He said, hey, give them less money in Pell Grants. He agreed with Obama to cut Pell Grant money. He said this. When Obama was sitting there arguing with the Howard University president, he said, yeah, cut that Pell Grant money. Who does that disproportionately affect? Oh, yes, us. And Flournoy, why they said billions or lost cause of Ukraine. Ukraine was a lost cause in April. But let them tell it. You still got to pray for Ukraine. They love Ukraine so much. Nancy Pelosi won't even take her ass over there. She's going to Taiwan. Some senators don't go to Ukraine, see if they can negotiate with Putin's representatives. To at least say, you know what, this might help our chances in November. Let's us Democrats get on a plane, go over to Kiev, and see if we can negotiate an end to this war. Nope. We're going to go to Taiwan. Let's see. And Flournoy said, Kid OG, did you know that was Biden who changed the structure of student loans when they came about? They were administered by the feds. He gave it away to private interests to raise interest. Yep. Oh, yes. I'm planning to show y'all something right now. Because I got to educate people really quick on how credit works. Because I was watching a lot of threads about this stuff. And a lot of people still don't understand what's going on out here. Why this whole student loan debt forgiveness bullshit was not gonna ever work. But quick context. Now I gave you the context with Obama and Biden and the Pell Grants. I gave you that context. Even the orange man, as duplicitous a businessman you want to say he is, whatever. Even he was smart enough to say, I'm not forgiving student loan debt. Because again, folks, he runs businesses. And what does he operate his businesses on? That's right. CREDIT, credit. And Flournoy says, Biden also wrote the law that made it possible to file a student loan in bankruptcy. Except a white boy got around that. I'll show that a little later. 007 Spidey 2 says, do you remember Kid Gravity, Ron Blagojevich, governor of Illinois? Oh, yeah, the one with the weird fucked up face. Yes, I remember him. He had the weird ear. I remember him. He was Obama's boy. But yes. What was I saying? Sorry. Goddamn. Right. Credit. I challenge y'all for who don't understand how credit works to either read Too Big to Fail, the book, or go on HBO Max and watch the movie. Now, Paul Giamatti played Ben Bernanke, then the Fed chairman. He had a very poignant speech about credit and how that affects businesses. Any business that you pass on this street does not operate in liquid assets. It's damn near impossible unless you're rich. Every company on earth, I would say at least 98% of them operate on credit. When you operate on credit, you're establishing to your borrowers that you are a viable business and you can make it work. Within a few years, you are going to operate in the black. So they will always get paid. If a system does not operate on credit, people cannot borrow money. People cannot borrow lines of credit. People cannot borrow loans. People can't go out and buy the cars, buy the houses, pay for school, start businesses, refinance the home. Equity in your home that you use to buy the things that you want at times. That's a line of credit. It's just not interest-based credit. Student loan debt, folks, is credit. That's all it is. But we know this. But it's like now they're trying to redefine the rules. And like I said, with those threads that I was seeing, people just didn't understand this concept and what would happen if he just forgave everybody's student loan debt. Let's see. 007 Spidey 2, he actually wanted to help Black Illinoisans. That's why they took him down. Yep. But again, he was Obama's boy, but he was a radical Democrat. He was wild, but you know what would have happened if you gave Black people power in Chicago? The rest of the country would have got on code. Because if you could control Chicago, New York, and LA, you run this country. And dare I say, and this may be controversial, I'm sure LA and New York are about to get mad at me. Chicago's probably the last real FBA major city that there is. I know it's very split, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and they have their little enclaves strewn across the city, but there's a lot of FBA up in Chicago. It hasn't really gotten infiltrated by the tether class because they know better. You can't go to Chicago and bullshit up there. You can't do it. There's too much Mississippi, Texas, and what's the other state? Is it Kentucky? It might be Kentucky. There's too much of that energy up there. They're not going for that. Let's see. And Florida, right, Kid Gravity, and you're right, 00 Spidey 72. Did you notice they put him in jail because he was helping Black people just like they did George Ryan when he opened the gates on death row? Yep. But back to credit. All these people for, what was it, 3 years saying Biden, erase student loan debt, we'll vote for you. Erase student loan debt, we'll vote for you. Erase student loan debt, we'll vote for you. He gets in. They're still tweeting him, forgive student loan debt. Folks, again, that's credit. What happens when you can't borrow with credit? Can't buy anything. Here's one thing they also missed. Now, when I did that video about Biden with this student loan forgiveness thing, hey, give me a line one time. Thank you. Okay. That's just a reminder for y'all. Yeah. So, do y'all realize there are about 90 companies in this country that control your student loan debt? 90. Oh, I know it's 00 Spidey's. I know. The Hispanic community is pushing FBAs out of the west side of Chicago. I know. They try to push them down to the south side and eventually push them down into what is that? Into central Illinois where white supremacists stay at. I know. Yes, that is the baby. Yes, that is the baby FBA there. Half FBA. Yes, that is. But again, there's about 90 companies, 89 to be exact, that own the credit lines in this country. And I'm sitting there looking at these threads. I'm like, how do you people not understand that we would be in a massive depression if any administration gets rid of student loan debt at its present number of almost $1.8 trillion in one fell swoop? Because technically he could do it. I mean, he would have to give all them banks and companies massive grants, plus a little bit extra for the trouble, but we know this ain't gonna happen. But this is an article from lendedu.com. So it says that here's a list of 89 student loan companies that can help make your experience with student loans easier. And if you go down this page, folks, you'll see every company that holds student loans. Hold on one second. Every company. I will. We even have some recognizable names on here, like Ally Bank, American Express. Yeah, the company that makes you pay back your entire balance every month. They hold student loans. Ascent, birthed out of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Bank of America, Capital One, Chase, Citi, Citizens Bank, Credible, Discover, Earnest, Fed Loan, Fifth Third Bank. That's big down here in Georgia. First Republic. I've heard of Granite State. Hey, look at all these companies. NASA gives out federal. NASA workers can get student loans for their children nationwide. Navient, we all know about Navient if you got student loans. Another one that was birthed out of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And the other one, Navy Federal Credit Union. Pentagon. You work at the Pentagon, you're eligible for that. Sally Mae, still around, kicking that whore. SoFi, out in California. SunTrust, TD Bank, US Bank, USAA, Wells Fargo, who's racist as hell. Yeah, Ally Bank, yes. B1, Afro Lee, B1. He must have heard me say Chicago and he ran in here. Where is Disney in all this? I don't think they're that big because well, these are listed just banks. These aren't private companies. Trust me, if we went to private companies, Jesus Christ, that's like their new racket now. A lot of these companies like McDonald's and Disney and all them, now they want to give out student loan money. They'll help you on your student loan applications. And they get a kickback off of it. But yeah, listening to all these people talking about, oh, Biden needs to just get rid of student loan debt and it would be better off. Newsflash. Wait, shit. Oh, is that going to be that dark? Okay. That's hella dark. That's better. Yes. All these people talking about, oh, erase student loan debt. We don't have significant job numbers. People are not working, folks. This is why you still see evictions happening. People are not working. What is the point in getting rid of student loan debt and people aren't working, especially with people with degrees that are not in their industry? How does that help? Explain that. See, I can understand an emergency room doctor getting their student loan, getting 10 grand and knocked off and being happy with this. I can understand that. I ain't understanding somebody that ain't working pre preaching to Biden, pay off my student loans. Okay, that's great. What are you going to do when he has knocks off 10 grand and you still owe something? You're still in the same boat that you were. Let's not even bring up the fact, folks, that let's really think about this economically. F the fact that inflation, that's what we would call an extreme. Let's be practical here. All those banks all those banks and companies I just read off, right? On average, student loans are put between 2% to somewhere as high as 22%. Now, I say 22% because I've known someone who had to pay 22% interest on their student loans. Now, I don't know if it was a student loan per se or it was like a personal loan, but it was for their school, so I consider it a student loan. They had to pay 22% on it. But regularly it's between 2 and 14%. Maybe even touch 15. Let's think about it. For every dollar, if they go through with this plan, you lose 2 to 15 cents per dollar in interest payments. Do you really think these banks are going to go for that? You're making 15 cents free every day. Free per borrower. You think they're going to give that up? If you know your banking history, most banks don't keep that much money in hand. They're willing to when you get money out the bank, that's not your money. That's a portion of it. That's somebody else's money. That's credit. But you jackoffs want to sit up here and say, "Oh, he can do it. He's the president. This will help everybody." Newsflash, people, this is a black man about to tell you something. And I think I speak for everybody up in here, even if they have a student loan or not. I'm not paying my tax dollars, especially a black man's tax dollars, to go pay for somebody who can't pay their student loans. Because I wouldn't get that same affordability if I asked somebody, "Hey, listen, I owe somebody $2,000. Can you loan it to me?" They look at you like you were crazy. Hell, go to your parents. How many of y'all had y'all parents? You went to your parents, just asked for $20. Hell, we ain't even gonna go to $20. Ask them for ice cream money, and they looked at you crazy. $2 for an ice cream cone, and they looked at you like, "No, I got ice cream in the freezer. You eat that. I don't want that nasty ass fries. Well, you gonna eat it, or you don't get nothing." But you expect me busting my ass out here on the plantation, doing this YouTube thing, trying to start this t-shirt business. You think I'm gonna go sit up there and pay for that? I'm already teaching the baby FBA in there. Hey, you're gonna get scholarships. I'm gonna pay very minimum if you decide to go to school. That's bullshit. I'm not doing that. Yes. A quarter. 50 cents for a bag of chips. We had to go in. We had to go do chores around the house for a couple dollars. And these people sitting on these student loans damn near 5 years. Can't pay that shit. Hadn't even made a dent. Kept deferring payments. But you want white daddy to go save you. And you still got your credit card, probably a car note, all your bills, your line of credit called a phone bill. What other bills y'all got? Insurance, your health insurance, all these other bills. Nah, y'all think getting rid of student loan debt is going to somehow enhance your life when you have no job or an underpaying job. Don't go to that man and say, "Hey, listen, you got to figure out a way to get these costs down." Nah, that's not what y'all concerned with. Hey, can you relieve the supply chain shortages and issues that we have? Nah, y'all don't complain about that. Y'all complain about some stupid ass line of credit that you took in, you signed. You want somebody else to take care of it. And Flournoy brought up something earlier about bankruptcy. Now, she's right. Biden did change the rules, but folks, white supremacy wins again because white supremacy got this man to get rid of over $200,000 of student loans via bankruptcy. Now, yes, this was under Trump. This was under Trump. But Biden saw this and said, if I'm going to promise this, I can't have people doing this. I can't get this. I can't let this get out. Can't let it get out. Because if it gets out, we in trouble. I'm going to be on the hook for this. Everybody's going to go to bankruptcy. The courts are going to be overwhelmed. I can't get that, what they call it. I can't get that baby mama money. I can't get that. Can't send black men to jail. But let's read. Can you now discharge your student loans in bankruptcy? Here's what you need to know. Student loans bankruptcy. A Navy veteran will have $220,000 of his student loans discharged, even though he is not unemployable, not disabled, or was defrauded. A U.S. bankruptcy judge in New York, Cecilia G. Morris, ruled that Kevin J. Rosenberg will not have to repay his student loan debt because it will impose an undue financial hardship. I had to play that clip, folks, because I really wanted to say something, but I know the second I say it, I would get struck down quick. But let's continue. According to the Wall Street Journal, by the way, I'm still smiling. According to the Wall Street Journal, Rosenberg borrowed $116,500 of student loans between 1993 and 2004, a bachelor's degree from the University of Arizona and a law degree from Cardozo Law School at Yeshiva University. Oh, I'm going to get there. Don't worry, I'm Flournoy. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And Flournoy, here you go. You want to read that case? I don't know if this is the case in question, but it might help. Let's continue because I'm still smiling. He filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 2018 and asked the court last June to discharge his student loan debt, which had grown to $221,400, including interest. At the time of filing, Rosenberg's annual salary was $37,600, and after living in debt expenses, his monthly net loss was $1,500. So he basically had no money. and he was in the Navy. So I don't understand. Traditionally, unlike mortgages or credit card debts, student loans cannot be discharged in bankruptcy. There are exceptions, however, namely if certain conditions regarding financial hardship are met. One's called the Brunner test, financial hardship. These conditions are reflected in the Brunner test, which is a legal test in all circuit courts except the Eighth Circuit and First Circuit. Eighth Circuit uses a totality of circumstances, which is similar to Brunner, while the First Circuit has yet to declare a standard. In plain English, the Brunner standard says, 1, the borrower has extenuating circumstances creating a hardship. 2, those circumstances are likely to continue for a term of the loan. And 3, the borrower has made good faith attempts to repay the loan. The borrower does not actually have to make payments, but merely attempt to make payments, such as trying to find a workable payment plan. This third one, when I originally saw this out last year, pissed me off. Number 3, the borrower has made good faith attempts to repay the loan. The borrower does not actually have to make payments, merely attempt to make payments, such as trying to find a workable payment plan. That pissed me off because black folks have been sitting here. Oh, I'm going to explain it, CRU. I'm about to explain it right now. What the hell is an attempt to make payments? You've seen black folks here make payments. You've seen black folks say, okay, I kind of need to defer it for 6 months. Let me get my job up a little bit more, and then I can start making regular payments. None of these companies ever gave black folks this opportunity because they know what would happen. All these people, they would basically be getting free education. They cannot promote that because we would know what would happen. You would go get your degree. The second you get a job and start making payments, you could finesse around and say, hey, things have come up. I'm in a different city or different circumstances. I can't make regular payments. I'm going to file for bankruptcy. And basically, you're going to have to wipe it off, and you only pay a portion of it, and you basically got your education for free. Everybody would do it. It would cripple the system. So when Biden came in, they said, nah, we can't have that because especially with what's going on now and people not working, everybody would go run and pay the few $100s in court costs for bankruptcy or out of court costs to the law office. Pay the lawyer, and in the long run, it would cost less than what they paid for the loan. And all the Asian and Jewish banks would be sitting there getting letters saying, yeah, client so-and-so, they filed for Chapter 7, and you're not going to be getting them interest payments anymore, and your principal is gone. But here, we made a deal for 10 grand. They're willing to pay that, so you'll get that 10 grand. And then they get whatever fee they get. Oh, they'd be tight. Tyrant System says, so what's up? Hope all is well. So his attempt was, okay, I pay 1 month and then I miss a month and then I pay again. So I'm always a month behind. And then when they asked me why I couldn't make the payment, something came up. Anyway, there are variances across federal districts, but that's the basic framework. To discharge student loans through bankruptcy in adversary proceeding or a lawsuit within bankruptcy court must be filed where a debtor claims that paying the student loan would create an undue hardship for the debtor. So this is their way of getting people off accountability for taking out these loans. Because we all know how college, it's such a predominant area of society, and it's so needed to have a great life. Let them tell it. So can you now discharge student loans in bankruptcy? There's only one legal rule, and that said federal judges and Democratic and Republican members of Congress are open to changing the law to make it easier for borrowers to discharge their student loans in bankruptcy. While these tactics may be welcomed by some student loan borrowers, critics may question whether judges should actively try to circumvent the existing law, suggesting that Congress and not judges should make the law. Doesn't that sound a little hypocritical, folks? Does that not sound hypocritical? Congress should be making the laws, not judges. But a judge has the power to overrule the law and strike it down. So technically, if I'm reading this right, that coon Clarence Thomas could screw around and rule that these banks are predatory and get rid of the system. They could. They could. They could declare the banks unconstitutional, couldn't they? Student loan unconstitutional. Could they not? I'm just thinking out loud. I just seriously just thought of this. Could Clarence Thomas, that coon, and his friends, even the Kuntanji, could they not rule banks and their practices are unconstitutional? Or maybe that's just outside their scope. I don't know. And Flournoy says, college was a big ass finesse for the capitalists. The job that I did for decades out of high school now requires a college degree. Ma'am, do you understand now that they done got rid of all these culinary schools? So I didn't go to college for that, but when I went to community college, they actually had a hospitality course. I didn't even take it. I should have taken it. Maybe I would have stayed. But I went to one of them 6-month schools, did an externship, and been in cooking for 13 years. So I basically just got trained how to operate in the kitchen, and I did all my training on the job, and didn't cost me a dime except to get to work and buy supplies. That's it. But I'm watching all these college people complaining. Oh, Tyrone, you have no idea. They're dropping degree requirements. I told y'all this on many occasions on this channel. Indeed, they don't even care about your degree anymore. When you apply, they go straight to assessments. They want to make sure you have the skills necessary and you've had some sort of outside training. They don't care about your degree. They don't. I've been peeping this since 2017. They don't. They changed it subtly. They don't care. They just want to see if you can do the job. I know people in HR. They don't care what school you went to, unless they went to the same school. They could care less. They want to see. They go straight to. I've been on so many interviews over the last 2 years. The first thing they ask is, where have you worked last? Where have you worked? They don't even care. They ask me where I went to school right before they ask me if I have any questions, just to see if I went somewhere. And I'm pretty sure it's similar for a lot of these places, unless it's either for STEM or business. I think they don't care about where you went to school. They want to care about your real world experience. But again, these people don't get it. Let's continue. What else can you do if you're struggling to make student loan payments? Here's some action steps. Income-driven repayment. For federal student loans, consider income-driven repayment such as IBR, pay, or repay. Your payment is based on your discretionary income, family size, and other factors. It's typically lower than the standard repayment plan. After a certain period of time, such as 20 and 25 years, for example, your federal student loans, not private student loans, can be forgiven. However, you will owe income taxes on the amount of student loans forgiven. I had to get low, folks, Because there's your through line with Biden's 87,000 IRS agents coming for you, coming for us. You will owe income taxes on the amount of student loans forgiven. The cock, I'm not even going to say that. The duplicitous bastard is going to get his money anyway. The banks are going to get their money anyway. I told y'all this was a finesse. Again, shout out to M. Flournoy. He changed the rules so he can have what he just implemented work for him. It's a cycle. He's going to get his money. You can't file bankruptcy. Okay. Now they're going to push income-driven repayment. So if you work, let's say you get $1,000 a week, pay all your bills off, put something away for savings. You may be left with 100. They will ask for 50 a week, maybe even 75. So you think, okay, they're off my back. They'll just take $300 a month, $3,600 a year. He's going to tax it. Money that's not even going back to him, he's going to be able to tax it. That's like you going to the grocery store, spending $100 on groceries, and then later the grocery store sending you a bill saying they're taxing you on what you bought after you done paid the sales tax for the state and the county you live in. They're sending you a separate bill saying, okay, your $100, you owe us $20 on what you spent. Biden sexuals, I need y'all to come and explain your mans. Mr. Rosenberg was the test guinea pig. Income-driven repayment was already there, not used that much. Biden saw that, and his economic advisor saw that and said, damn, we gotta make sure we get our money, and the banks gotta make sure they happy. So yes, we're gonna, I'm telling you, when he implements this, I give it about 3 months. People are gonna complain. He's like, listen, here, we're not gonna take that much away from your money that you're trying to use to survive. We're gonna only take a little bit. Remember, this man said, I'm not gonna tax you again if you make less than 400,000. Now he's talking about he gonna tax you. He just changed the rate on taxing people based on their income. People like us that make less than 75, we're going to be taxed the most. This is where it's going. Y'all don't understand this. You've got to break this down. This is why I tell y'all every time, do your fucking research. Stop reading these articles and bypassing shit. Don't just read the title. Get in there, read it, read between the lines, find the through line. All these articles together have a through line. That man is getting his money. The banks are getting their money. They're getting it from you. So, folks, you owe student loans. IRS is coming for you. You don't pay a significant time, they're going to take your assets. Remember what they always said, folks, with this agendas rocking around. You will owe nothing and like it. Again, you will own nothing and like it. These people own nothing. They barely own their car. They barely own the clothes on their back. These same people complaining about student loans living between 3 and 6 in a home. Shout out to Bushwick, Brooklyn. They're just trying to make inroads in life. Student loans up the ass. Now he's telling you, okay, you're paying $1,000 for just a room. Your bills, keep food on your table. Get to work if you're working. Your remote work. You got student loans. I'm fixing to take your money. That discretionary income, I'm going to take it. And I'm going to tax you on your student loan forgiveness. Dark skinned brother, hello. RG Titan, the bisexuals really messed us over big time. They don't listen. It was everybody but Trump. They don't listen. They don't listen. Again, even he's dumb enough not to say, I'm going to pay off student loan debt. Even he was stupid enough not to do that. Y'all would be killing this man right now. This was back in 2020. The plan was already there. No, it's not can't win for losing. You can't lose to lose. I know that sounds weird. They took a loss. I still think and everybody else understands it's a loss. But these people think losing is winning. This is how diabolical and how messed up these people's lives are. They think losing is winning. V Malsby, they wanted Trump out so bad. Look what they got. They don't see it, ma'am. Put your thing back on the screen for a second. They don't see the loss. They don't see it. Preview, folks. Now, for those who came in late, at the beginning, up top, pinned message, I started a Patreon. 3 different tiers. I'll show it before I leave. One of those, I'm going to do a show about, the Bell Biv DeVoe and coffee venereal disease and all this stuff. Folks, what I'm fixing to tell you, y'all not going to like it. We're going to put everything on the table. Everything. Yes, M. Flournoy. You finally convinced me. I did it yesterday. I just finalized it today. It's live. The link is up top. What I got to say about the coffee venereal disease, y'all not going to like it. It's going to make you sick. But again, these bisexuals take losses for wins. So it is what it is. Dark skinned brother. They got Trump out, put a way more evil devil in the White House. I have to disagree, brother. There's more. There's worse devils than Biden. Biden would be a worse devil if he was 20 years younger. If you got Biden 2008 or even Biden 1996 right now, we would probably be in a world war right now. I would actually prefer this Biden right now because we could see the finesse coming. 96 Biden would sit up there and smooth talk everybody past what he's doing. He would actually be silver tongued like Obama, and people would actually fall for it. Most people aren't falling for what Biden's selling right now, except Biden sexuals and them white liberals and them Jews. That's about it. And them Asians because he gave them money. Everybody else already sees the trick back. It's so bad, folks, with this student loan thing. Even liberals and conservatives hate each other. They were even united on that. Said that was a finesse. But show this to your favorite person because they need to understand what's going on. Make sure to share this out. That part right there that I have highlighted. However, you will owe income taxes on the amount of student loans forgiven. Because remember, when you look on your taxes, you can act in certain situations, you can write off your payments. He's going to get rid of that. He's going to tax you on that. So you have maybe one option, maybe two options. One, either get that federal loan, which is limited and it's going to be very tough to get, or you're going to have to go private loan and you can't write that off. So you're going to have to ease back on where you want to go to school at, unless you want to take that money out. But let's continue. Pay off other debt. Pay off credit card debt first, particularly if the interest rate is higher than your student loan interest rate. Credit card consolidation is the process of paying off your existing credit card debt with a low-cost personal loan at a lower interest rate. If you can borrow a personal loan at a lower interest rate than your credit card debt, you can save in interest costs and also potentially improve your credit score. And you could probably renegotiate with these companies on the rate, on the APR rate, but don't hold your breath on that. Contact your lender. If you face a financial struggle, don't keep it a secret from your lender. Contact your lender to discuss alternate payment options. Don't wait till the last minute to address your student loan debt. Again, they like to tell that they like to ease that into it. Again, black folks, especially the women, love deferring payments. That's what they mean. They're not going to defer payments anymore. They want their money. Yes, he did run in 1988, and there was no way in hell he was going to go beat what's the name? He was going to beat Bush. There was no way. Bush versus Biden would have got slaughtered. You're just coming out of kicking the Russians' ass in Afghanistan. You're just coming out of that the crack era, and the economy was poised for a crash. That happened a year later. Biden wasn't winning that. Everybody loved Reagan too much. He left office with way too much momentum. No Republican, even the worst Republican they would have put up there, he would have won. Biden had no shot. And Jesse was too popular. Biden had no shot. I told my daughter don't take out any loans if she wants to go to school. I'll pay for her schooling. Cash is the way to go. My dad did that. When me and him were on our outs, and I told him I wanted to go to culinary school, I did not want to go back to college. He gave me a check, sat down with me and the guy at the culinary school, handed him the check. We left, and this man said, well, he said this before we went there. He said, listen, this is your last shot. You fuck this up. He ain't say fuck this up, but that's what he was applying. You mess this up, I'm done with you. Because I was in my dark period then. And I told him I'm not gonna mess this up. And he just nodded. We got in the car and left. And here I am 13 years later. So I guess it worked out. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. All my schooling, he paid cash. But with the sisters, he had to go get loans because they wanted to be fancy and hidey tidy and go to expensive white supremacist schools. So, shout out to them. They got their degrees, so he won in the end. He won in the end. I know the last one. I'm really gonna try to convince her. I got 3 years. I'm gonna convince her either go get them scholarships or go start a business. Well, she talking about she want to be a lawyer, so there it is. My dad gonna be like that. He gonna be working till he dead. But anyway, let's continue. Refinance student loans. Student loan refinancing rates are incredibly cheap right now. Again, this is 2020. And start at 1.9%. Student loan refinance is the fastest way to pay off student loan debt. If you're struggling with student loan debt and considering bankruptcy, student loan refinancing may not be an option for you. To qualify, you'll need a credit score of at least 650 and enough monthly income for living expenses and debt repayment. I want to say that again. To qualify, you need a credit score of at least 650 and enough monthly income for living expenses and debt repayment. Most motherfuckers don't even got 2 out of them 3 that have student loan. Most of them ain't got 2 out of 3. Dark skinned brother, my dad barely wanted to buy me school clothes. I had to do everything on my own. Wish I had a dad like that. I love my old man. Sometimes he be saying them Republican talking points, but I still love that man. I credit that man for putting me around every race from when I was in grade school. So I know how every race moves and I know how they think. That's why when they say a lot of this anti-black shit, I'm like, I already heard this shit. So I know how to hit them subtly. They cut that shit out around me. They don't bring that shit up with me. Let's see. Who's this? Tyrone Simpson. Biden Harris supporters, you got played. He can sign executive order. Student loan debt is gone. Again, brother, he could, but again, massive inflation. The banks ain't going for that. Not happening. The banks are not giving up 2 to 15 cents on the dollar. They're not doing it. He could. He easily could. That Ukraine money, he could have done that. He not doing it though. We would be in a depression the next day. Because again, you're gonna erase something when there's not enough people in the system to replenish it. It doesn't. It's not a viable strategy. Like you gotta understand how infinitesimal that is. Trump thought it was easier to pay China off than pay off student loan debt, and we owe China trillions of dollars, and he thought it was easier because we could still pay them off and still operate. But anyway, we continue. If you meet those requirements, you may be a good candidate for student loan refinancing. If you don't, you can also apply with a cosigner to help you approve and get a lower interest rate. This student loan refinancing calculator shows how much you can save with student loan refinancing. Yeah. Let's see. Like Torian said, we have to watch out for Ron DeSantis. Well, guys, remember when I did when I did the video about who should run in 2024? Everybody kept saying, "Oh, Trump DeSantis, Trump DeSantis." I was like, "No, you're going to have Frank Underwood in the White House. No, can't have that. Trump would be undermined for 4 years. If you thought his 2016 to 2020 run was chaotic, just imagine how chaotic is going to be. Hopefully, climbing out of what's going on. Hopefully, on his side, he has the House and Senate to back him up, and have Ron DeSantis coming to work for him every day. That's a TV show. He don't need them problems. He'd get nothing done. Everybody on the news would just be waiting for the day that DeSantis turns on him. Don't need that. That's why I said Christine OM is his best option. He could troll. He could troll. He could troll John McCain from the grave in the grave. He could troll him, and he would actually get somebody that actually fucks with him. But it is what it is. Oh yes. Oh, hot damn mess. What? But for us in the new black media, that'd be content every day. I think I could retire in the first year off just that content alone. Let's see. M. Florida, good job to Dad Kid. You're one of the few who, in my opinion, understands all the moving parts at that same time. That man did not let you not experience life and tell you about life. He ain't send us out there ill-equipped. I have to give him his credit on that. He did not send us out there like that. Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker are rumored on the Democrat side. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's talk about Gavin Newsom really quickly before I show you this IRS data that actually made Trump look like the man. Gavin Newsom signed that legislation for black folks in California. That was a finesse, folks. I know everybody was touting how great it was. That was actually a finesse. That was his second bite at the apple, folks. This is going to pain me to say this, but it's not really going to pain me to say this. And this is no shade at black women. The Crown Act is an abject failure, folks. That legislation was created in the height of what was going on in the world. And Gavin Newsom didn't need them type of problems in his state where black people are already marginalized and getting smaller by the day. He got to deal with most of the homeless in his state being black people. FBA's complaining about California not being conducive to them, where they have to leave. A lot of them born there. And unless you got some money, you can't operate out there. I mean, hell, Tariq is still having problems trying to get the damn museum foundation up. He can't even buy a lot so he can start building. So he signs this delineation type legislation, which means what exactly? The state is mostly Latino. You're basically putting a spotlight on black people. That makes no sense. I know this sucks, but a state delineation bill does nothing in a state that black people do not control. Well, I should say black American people don't control. It doesn't make sense. You had black women sitting on that stage championing this man signing a bill that says, hey, you can go wear your natural hair in your nice corporate job. Folks, people were already doing that. All you had to do was show your work ethic. They can't say shit to you. When you show your work ethic and you're an asset to a company, you can get away with certain things. Like if you call them and say, hey, I'm going to be about 10 minutes late. All right. Why? Because they understand your work ethic. They understand you're a great employee. When there's a mistake to be made and they're yelling at everybody else, you don't get yelled at. You get a stern talking to. You get certain privileges. You're first up when they need to hire within. The public sector allowed black people to wear their hair however they wanted. Again, I tell y'all the story. MTA in New York, for years, they had that same policy. You had to have your hair tight and all this. It couldn't be disheveled. None of that. What happened? Who were they targeting? Black men. Black men would come in with dreads, the twists. Hell, they would even come in with the kufis for religious reasons. There were many a fights. A lot of the drivers and engineers would say they were discriminating against my hair. They had to go have hearings, arbitration, things like that. They didn't want to keep paying. So what ended up happening? They were like, all right, you know what? We're going to lax the rules a little bit. We're still going to keep them on a leash, but we're going to lax the rules a little bit. So they said, okay, you guys can wear what you want, but it has to be clean and respectable. They said, all right, whatever. Still sounded racist, but they said, okay, fine. What ended up happening? Productivity went up. They don't like telling you that. Black men actually were happier on the job. They don't want to tell you that. They felt less constricted. They don't want to tell you that. The system kept moving. Then they said, okay, you know what? Their hair really doesn't give a damn. The hair's tied back. It's not in their way. People are still safe. Okay. You wear your hair wherever you want. Then you start seeing black women wearing perms, weaves, natural hair. Damn near, I had a bus driver who was wearing a goddamn rainbow weave, but she got me to my destination safe. There you go. But now you expect me to say California, New York, Illinois, hey, we're going to put a bill on the books that says you can go to your corporate job and wear your hair however you want. So you're telling me that you made no inroads in these corporate jobs. You needed the governor to put a bill in place to tell a private company how to monitor and address their dress codes. And also, which I also told you guys when I broke that bill down, that wasn't for black women. That was for non-black women. That was them to go fuck with their employers on casual Friday and dare them to fire them. Because when little Susie Pansetti comes in with a rainbow weave 30 minutes late and then gives a bullshit excuse to her boss, she gets fired. She comes back with the lawyer saying he fired me because I wore my hair this way. He or she tries to say, no, it came late and you mouthed off. Unless there's proof on the books that you did that or release a tape, she's going to get money. Black women, I told y'all, this bill only served to spotlight you. And when you go in front of these people wearing your natural hair, they'll just say, I don't want to deal with her, but I can't say, hey, we don't like the way you look. You would get sued. No, they'll just say, okay, you know what, you're great, but we have other applicants. We'll make sure to call you if we want to move forward with you. Then you'll get the email a day or two later saying they're not moving forward. Likewise, if you're already on the job and you change your hair around, guess what? They'll say that it's not within the scope of what the business is and the practice that we strive for because you don't look like everybody else. They'll get rid of you. Black woman, you'll go in there with your lawyer, try to sue, try to get arbitration. You might win, but more often than that, you're going to lose. Why? They never updated the handbook. And when your lawyer tries to argue the Crown Act, you're like, that's great. Our handbook is our handbook. It's the same handbook we've been using for years. We didn't see a reason to change it. By the way, before that law was signed into place, she understood what was going on. He understood what we were looking for, and he understood what the dress code was. And they also understood that any deviance from that was grounds up to and including suspension or termination. And they, by signing and working here, agreed to that. we don't care about the law. And technically, if you try to take it to the highest court, they would actually win on that. Not just because of white supremacy, but because they don't play those rules in court. They actually respect grandfathered laws. But a lot of people don't want to bring that shit up. So this is why I said this was not a win for black women. They used y'all to get this passed, because who the hell is going to sign a bill about hair for non-black women? Black women, I told you, I got to stop getting finessed. Beatzilla, hello, brother. Congratulations again on 900 subscribers. We're almost there. So make sure y'all tell your friends. Let's get Beatzilla over 1,000 by the end of this month. Because remember, I said by August, you should be at 1,000. So we're almost there. So let's see. Let's go back. I haven't been paying attention to the comments for a minute. Hold on. Let's see. V Ballsby said the fact that they had to create the bill was crazy to me. That was black. That was those black female coons' fault. That was their fault. And again, I know nobody wants to hear this, but the reason that bill got accelerated the way it did was because of that young boy over in Jersey who was about to go for that wrestling championship, and that white woman cut his hair. That's where it came from. So, black women, technically, you didn't push this forward. It was that boy and his humiliation be put out all over the world that got that bill accelerated. I'm not even going to say what I was about to say. Let's see. And floor 9. When I go to downtown Chicago, I have to look for people that look like me, as if I was in Kansas. That law was feckless anyway. I can't disagree. Tyrone Simpson, China owes America debt. America waiting not to pay Chinese back. Yeah, working on ways not to pay the Chinese back. They don't want that smoke, because all China got to do is call in their loans and we're screwed. The question to ask is, show me the Afro hire stats. You know they can't give out those numbers. I'll show up and then be outside in less than 5 minutes. I'm loving the new black media. Y'all's make me so proud. Yeah, we're trying out here. In the midst of YouTube censoring us, and Twitter now doing it. Mark Zuckerberg out here lying to folk over a laptop. So it was, just imagine what he doesn't want to admit he was censoring. State of California is 39% Mexican. I mean, it is still white, but again, every 2 years, they change the law around, more white people leave. Every time a law is changed that is not conducive to white people, a white supremacist gains a pickup truck. But I did promise to show you Trump and how his tax cuts benefited the middle class. Because see, Biden don't want to give out them type of tax cuts, because that benefits people. And when you benefit people, they can't rely on the government. When they can't rely on the government is useless. So IRS data proves Trump tax cuts benefited middle and working class Americans most. President Biden and congressional Democrats' Build Back Better Act is now in the hands of the Senate. The legislative body's 50-50 partisan split will undoubtedly make the bill's passage difficult. But we all know it got passed, so that is what it is. In order for BBB to become law, Democrat Senate leadership will need to convince moderates such as Senators Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin. I call him Munch Dick, by the way, but anyway, that the legislation's $2.4 trillion price tag can be offset by expanding the IRS, which we have seen, and its enforcement efforts while imposing substantive tax reform measures. Does that not sound familiar, folks? Expanding the IRS and its enforcement efforts while imposing substantial tax reform measures. This was December 4th, 2021. The plan was in place. M. Flournoy says, I heard the white folks are moving to Mexico en masse. I did that 3 weeks ago. I did that show 3 weeks ago. I talked about the reverse migration into Mexico and how the Mexicans were getting pissed off. And I said, I don't want to say what I'm going to say, but a certain C section of Mexico gonna fuck around and start disappearing white folk. You're changing taquerias into Starbuckses. But anyway, let's continue. Congressional Democrats have argued that one of the best ways to pay for the legislation is to raise taxes on wealthy households, which, according to many on the left, have benefited disproportionately and unfairly from the 2017 tax reform law passed by Republicans and signed by former President Trump. The latest data, however, proves that this claim is pure mythology. Income data published by the IRS clearly shows that on average, all income brackets benefited substantially from the Republicans' tax reform law, with the biggest beneficiaries being working and middle income filers, not the top 1%, as so many Democrats have argued. Again, folks, the Democrats do not, I repeat, the Democrats do not like stimulating the economy. They like to spend the economy. Obama benefited off the Bush tax cuts, even though he ran on the platform saying that those were only good for the top 1%ers. Newsflash, sir. I bet if you go pull up that data, without those tax cuts, a lot of people wouldn't have been able to afford the $3.89 gas that was being sold during that Iraq war fiasco. Homeowners would have lost their homes way before 2008 without the Bush tax cuts. But again, they were so bad, you kept them in for about 2 years because you knew the second you got rid of them, the economy would have tanked even worse than it was. You would have been the president since FDR to be leading during a depression. And you could not have that for your image as a fake black man to be in the annals of U.S. history, sir. Let's keep it all the way Chicago deep dish. I'm not even mad at y'all Obama supporters anymore because a lot of y'all have woken up. I'm mad that he finessed us. And I understand why a lot of these celebrities now love this man, because he showed the playbook on how to finesse the black community, and he took bits and pieces, changed it around to fit them, and now they're finessing us, which I'm going to get to very soon because I have a few choice words for a certain Jamaican countryman running around talking shit. But I'm not going to say too much because I plan to do, well, no, I'm actually going to say a lot. But when y'all see the video that I'm going to do, that I'm going to put on Patreon first and then release to the public, y'all can go around and tell people how accurate it is and also how funny it is. But we're going to continue. A careful analysis of the IRS tax data, one that includes the effects of tax credits and other reforms to the tax code, shows that filers with an adjusted gross income or AGI of $15,000 to $50,000 enjoyed an average tax cut of 16 to 26% in 2018, the first year Republicans' Tax Cuts and Jobs Act went into effect, and the most recent year for which data is available, aka the first year of Trump's budget. Since you assholes who think that you're the greatest economists on the planet because you read some articles and listen to your favorite left-leaning news source tell you who don't have an economy degree, newsflash, when the president comes in that year, his first budget is controlled by the outgoing president. Notice, folks, you didn't hear about these supply chain problems until the end of 2021 because Biden mismanaged Trump's budget. The news does not like to tell you that. And 2022, this year, his first year of his budget, everything's gone to hell. Black people became the poorest of all time under his administration via M. Flournoy. Yep. D.L. Hughley is one that tries to finesse, but I see right through him. He's been run off the block. Nobody even shares his clips anymore. Haven't y'all noticed that? I guess the algorithm works sometimes because ever since D.L. Hughley said what he said about his daughter and people debunking what he said, people haven't been seeing his stuff pop up. He's irrelevant. But let's finish this off. Filers who earned 50 to 100K received a tax break of about 15 to 17%, and those earning 100 to 500 in adjusted gross income saw their personal income taxes cut around 11 to 13%. By comparison, no income group with an AGI of at least 500,000 received an average tax cut exceeding 9%, and the average tax cut for brackets starting at 1 million was less than 6%. That means most middle income and working class earners enjoyed a tax cut that was at least double the size of tax cuts received by households earning 1 million or more. What's more, IRS data shows earners in higher income brackets contributed a bigger slice of the total income tax revenue pie following the passage of the tax reform law that they had in the previous year. In fact, every income bracket with filers earning 200,000 or more increased its tax burden in 2018 compared to 2017. And every income bracket with a top limit lower than 200 paid a smaller proportion of the total personal tax revenue collected. That means that Republicans' tax reform law resulted in the tax code becoming slightly more progressive, the exact opposite of what Democrats have claimed over the past 4 years. The IRS data further shows that the tax reform law, which included a variety of business tax cuts, included a large reduction in the corporate income tax rate, spurred economic mobility. I'm going to say that again. The IRS data further shows that the tax reform law, which included a variety of business tax cuts, because, the Democrats and the lefties love saying that he was taking care of his friends, including a large reduction in the corporate income tax rate, which allowed them to say that it just contributes to their big ass bonuses. Like they just all of a sudden from 2016 to 2020, they were just earning all these bonuses of 33 million, 133 million dollars. That just happened when Trump got in. Okay. Spurred economic mobility because God forbid a company has extra money and they don't invest it back in themselves. I'm sorry. A company that, okay, fine, they take all their bonus money out of the less taxes they got to pay and they still have 3 million. Oh, snap. Let's put it back in the company so we can make more profit. Yes, I understand. That's a weird concept. I get it. Let the lefties and these fake economists tell it. The fact is, I'm sorry. Every income bracket with a top level lower than 25% experienced a reduction in its number of filers. Every income bracket with a top level lower than $25,000 experienced a reduction in its number of filers, and every income bracket above $25,000 increased in size, with the biggest gains occurring in the brackets with a floor of at least 100,000. So these tax cuts made more people get into the middle class. Imagine that. You give people tax cuts, they get extra money. They can move up, go back to school, get certifications, start businesses, get out of being the working poor and poverty, less number of filers for unemployment, WIC, SNAP, EBT, housing vouchers. You jump 25 to 55. I know that's a hell of a jump, but you can actually get a decent apartment that doesn't need vouchers in a better neighborhood. I know Democrats, this is a foreign concept to you. I get it. His tax cuts got people raises. People were touching $100,000. Single and combined. 2019, my wife and I were almost making 100,000 between us. We were thinking about buying a house. But according to Democrats, that's wrong. That's wrong. Got it. The fact is, Republicans' 2017 tax reform law did exactly what it was promised. And lower taxes for all income groups provide the greatest benefit for middle income houses who hold the most debt and the most credit in this country, by the way, and the most savings, but they don't never want to say that out loud. And spurred economic growth that helped reduce poverty and improve prosperity, which we saw in 2018 and 2019. Funny how that works. It would be a grave mistake for Democrats to eliminate key parts of this important legislature, which they already did, folks, because again, I read the first paragraph and it said it. Second paragraph. The legislation's $2.4 trillion Build Back Better initiative price tag can be offset by expanding the IRS and its enforcement efforts while imposing substantial tax reform measures, which we've outlined in this 2 hours. Which, for the cliff notes, if you don't want to go back to the beginning, expanding the IRS, 87,000 armed agents are on the way. And by the way, they've done drills raiding and breaching a suburban home. I've seen the video. Can't play it here because they have guns. And its enforcement efforts while imposing substantial tax reform measures, which is what I showed y'all 15 minutes ago with the loan debt repayment plan that they're probably going to reform a little and send out. You're going to have to pay regardless. There's no way out. And Florina, yep, ain't shit free. He who controls your basic needs controls you. We have to start looking at ways in addition to politics to get where we need to survive. Yeah. Reparations. Build things here in America again. I would love to see steel being produced here again and stop being exported from China at a crazy rate. But folks, let's get to it before we get up out of here. By the way, I got to play for the folk.
Insult to my existence.
Got to play that. Let's get this off the screen. All right, folks, it's time. Let's have some fun. That's right, folks. Whenever you hear that sound, we're going on Twitter. I spend a week looking up things to bookmark so we can laugh or have conversations. And I found a lot this week. Oh, we found a lot this week. We got to start it off with the white supremacists, though, folks. We got to start it off with the white supremacists. This is an older white supremacist. We've all seen this clip, but we've got to play this clip again because it's so good. It's so good. Who's ready? Here we go. Mr. Supremacist himself. The school teacher supremacist. We got to play this, man. What did this man say? Let's see what he said.
Yes, I use nigga. I've used it. I admit it. I put the H on it to emphasize it's nigga. You know, nigga this, nigga please, nigga. You know, can you lend a nigga a pencil?
What kind of example are you setting for your?
What? Wait, what? Oh no, all of this has been fun. What? Can you lend a Negro a pencil? This is what he said. He said this. Can you lend a Negro a pencil? He said this. This white supremacist. And the person who put this up saying, I still can't believe this is real. Dude, when I first saw this, I was like, this dude is great. Because I like my supremacists overt. He blamed the black boys for this. He said they say it in my class, so I just say it just so I can relate to him. And to get him to stop saying it. Man, if you don't go sit out somewhere. I'm sorry, the last part where he said, can you let a nigga a pencil? I laughed because I was like, he can't be serious. But let's continue. I love Southern black women. I will say this. I love Southern black women. When I came down here back in 2009, I went to Popeyes. I got me a 5-piece tenders and a side of fries and a drink when things were cheaper. And I was polite. I said thank you. They heard my New York accent. The woman gave me extra biscuits and at least 15 packets of jelly and honey. And one of them were hitting on me while I was waiting for my food, even though it was busy. Shout out to the South. But also, y'all funny. When y'all get the roasting, y'all funny.
2, 1. Hold on, man.
Why y'all do her like that?
I can make it lighter. Is the color the issue?
That is all the issue. What you mean? And if they were gonna be this way, right? Why they fucked up right here though?
She said, why is this fucked
shit
up
wide
right
over here and it ain't even got no kind of form, girl? What you? Hey, whatever this is.
Yes, I'm flowing away jelly.
You gonna need
strawberry
more
jelly and grape.
Then I still can't even feel them. Wait a minute. I'm gonna like more than your normal cream in a minute now.
Let me see. Let me try and wipe this off. Hold on.
What you finna? You already know fuck them up. What you finna wipe off now?
What you finna wipe
I
off? She
was
said
just gonna
it.
try and
What
wipe
you
them.
finna wipe
Wipe
off?
them.
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cry
You
right
finna
now.
wipe off.
You gonna be crying in a minute, girl.
I'm sorry. Okay, let me see.
I'm gonna kick your ass and my son ass.
Okay, hold on. 1 second. Let me see what I can do.
I'm gonna kick both of y'all. I'm gonna start with you, and then I'm gonna let in on his ass too because.
Let in.
Oh, she know what she done.
Let in. She said it.
This shit.
Now, by the way, this was a prank.
Oh, D. You had some pretty
He
stuff.
told
that wasn't your
old girl
weapon.
to do that.
No, I was
Her son
hoping,
told her to do that.
Like people that I'm like inspired by.
People do shit like that now. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. She said.
So I was able to wipe it off just a little bit. See if that's better for you.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop.
All right, we gotta turn the sound off. She said, "Why you do me like that?" I love Southern black women. I love y'all. And Flournoy, you ain't right for that. Now you know you ain't right for that. Come on, young woman. Don't do that. Let her live. Let her live. All right, we finna go. I got to get this chick in a second. I got to get her, but let continue. I want to play this, but I can't play this, but maybe I'll do it on a Patreon stream. Now, this here, if y'all, I know a lot of y'all don't watch cartoons like that, but the Dragon Ball Z movie came out and some asshole was up in there. I know he don't get no pussy. I know this. If I see a post like that, this just tell me he don't get no ass. This excites you. But again, this just proves that they look at Black American culture. Because I've watched Dragon Ball Z for years, and Bulma never had that cake. They always showed her thighs. She never had the cake. But this is just to appeal to black folks. But that's okay. Let's go. Now I got to watch it. Now, I know we got a problem with the Latinos right now, folks. I know we do. But they were funny to me. They were funny to me. Because they were funny to me. At least I think they're Latino. No, that's not Latinos. They gotta be Eastern European. There you go. How many black men would like to have fun with that, with their dad like that? How many? Probably lead to a fist fight, but you know. We got to do daddy. We got to do daddy like that one time. I don't think I ever pranked my father because he probably changed the locks on my ass. Okay. Shout out to Brother Tim some more. I got to get this white girl. I was planning on doing a video about this, but I didn't even want to waste my time. I didn't even want to waste my time. So she said, I'm trolled for not wearing deodorant and rarely showering. I'm musty, but no one tells me I smell bad. So apparently this young woman does not shower. She showers rarely, folks. This is what she said. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? They put this under the folk. They put this in the lifestyle section. You think I'm kidding? I ain't gonna hold y'all. When I first saw that story, At that moment, I felt like a wash rag. That's how her wash rag feels. Every time she go in the bathroom, it bypasses it. Is she insane? Do y'all want to see the video? I don't even know if I want to play the video. I'm not going to play the video. So it says a woman has divided social media with her personal hygiene regimen or lack thereof. Addie Kirchner described her bathing habits in a viral TikTok video, admitting she rarely showers and never wears deodorant. She said, one thing about me is I am musty. I don't wear deodorant. I go as long as possible without a shower. I use Dr. Bronner's as in 4-in-1. Now, Dr. Bronner's, if you don't know, I think is body wash, hair, shampoo, conditioner, and something else. I go to bed with dirty feet. Hairbrush, don't know her. I simply do not give a F. My family's fabric guest, but I have yet to tell me I smell bad. Why the hell would your family do that? White folk don't tell. They don't tell truths. White folk do not tell each other where they smell. They will show white folk, they will say, man, you are dirty exterior wise. They will never say you smell bad. They work in what you call it. They work in barns all day. They clothes dirty. Somebody got to tell them their clothes are dirty for them to go shower. Or they'll just go upstairs, take everything off, and put on a wife beater and some boxes and sit down and eat dinner. That's right. I said it. But let's continue. In the video posted on March 4th, Addie films herself laying on her stomach on the floor in a bikini. And she ain't going to the beach, but okay. The text on the screen reads, I don't wear deodorant. I go as long as possible without a shower. I use Dr. Bronner's as a 4-in-1. Dr. Bronner's 4-in-1 organic sugar soaps, $10.99, come in 5 varieties, are meant for hands, face, body, and hair. Okay, so that's the 4-in-1. I thought it was like shampoo and all that shit. But okay. Look, this lady said it too. I'm trolled for showering once a week, but life's too short to do it. What? It takes you 5 minutes. I go to bed with dirty feet. Hairbrush don't know where she went on. I simply do not give a we read that. Adding the hashtag dirty, so she don't care. The video has earned hundreds of comments with many sharing disgust at Addie's behavior. Y'all never had marinated beef and it shows. I don't know what that means. This is one of my biggest turnoffs. Wrote a man while another added, if this is another form of birth control. Now that was funny. And you see this as a flex. Hope you're comfortable being by yourself, said one more. So you would think there's some, yeah. Why are you touching my stuff? Hey, come here. You like showers?
Check.
You like taking showers?
Check.
All right. I ask you a simple question and you talk. Okay. And at least you're on code. Okay. At least you're on code. Yeah. Anyway. So at least some people had sense. But of course, folks, where there's some, there's others. But not everyone thinks it's so bad, with a few telling her to do what she pleases with her body. That's the my body, my choice crowd, by the way. Ha, 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 ha. Good on you. Live life on your own terms. Be happy, wrote one. In fact, some men were even into it, sending her flirty messages, including a little flavor, hurt no one. Sometimes the musty pheromones be better than the cherry blossom perfume, said another. You simps. You goddamn simps. The provider today earlier walked by me and I damn near choked due to dog smell on her. I knew she didn't shower. She was stank. Oh, man. I'm going to tell you that story before I leave. Yeah, let's continue, man. I white folk. Ever since what's her name, Mila Kunis said she really bathes her kids, I was like, is this a thing? I guess it is. All right, say less. All right, folks. Y'all know our children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. I think that's the way the song goes. Eddie Demore should have left him alone. I blame Othello, that Negro. Now, that's a good question to ask the folks. Was Othello a coon? Because he got with Desdemona. Does that make him a coon? Was he a little off code? I just need to know. I need to know. This motherfucker just took my coon mask. She just took the coon mask and she ran away. She knew she did something wrong. As soon as I said coon, she came out here and took my mask. Ain't that about a man? All right. Anyway, let's get back to what we do. And that was actually real, by the way, because usually I have the mask sitting right there. She took that motherfucker. Unbelievable. But anyway, folk, children are the future, are they not? Yes, they are. So this caption, this video warmed my heart when I saw it. It was funny as hell. So it says she mad at her daddy because he woke her up to change her diaper. Now she don't want to go with him.
Hey, come on.
So he tried to get her to come to him. She acted like her eyes. Hey. She rubbing her eyes. She don't want no parts. She shook her head no. She told this Negro. She told this Negro, you ain't finna wake me up and think I'm gonna be your friend. What this is? She trying to go to mommy. She turned her head when that man tapped her on the shoulder. She kept it moving. She looking the other way. She ain't nothing going on over there. And she's still shaking her head. God, dog. She gonna get you told, bruh. I had my kid. Let me tell y'all.
You know what that?
Yo, she looked away from this Negro. Folk. When my kid was a baby, I pissed her. I don't even remember what I did. I pissed her off. She ain't talked to me for 2 days. And she was a baby. She ain't want no parts of me for 2 days. I don't even remember what I did. She hated my guts for 2 days. Oh, Lord. Here we go. Here we go. We not finna do this. Not today. Not today. Took your troll ass long enough to get here. We not doing this today. Not today. It's way too nice a day outside. Not today. I don't have the energy to deal with y'all. But yeah, she don't want no parts of daddy. But let's continue. Now again, remember how I said I love Southern people and how they be roasted? Okay, question 1. Oh, you bastard. Oh, I hate when Twitter does this. Okay. Now, I have a question, folks. Now, this is another roast video, folks, but I got a question. And don't get mad at me, FBA, for this.
No. Yo, where you going?
FBA and black folks, why did this Negro just come out of his house like Tevin Campbell when he did that live version of Can We Talk when he came out the bedroom? This Negro came outside, looked at the camera, gave the head nod, and then looked at his uncle, and his uncle knew what time it was. You got to see, black folks, we test each other every day before we go out that world, whether it's an affirmation or you get roasted. This prepares you for what life throws at you. That's why we're the strongest people on this planet. And Flournoy, tell me I'm lying.
No.
Dun, dun, dun. Wait, we're gonna start this over. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's how, I swear to God, if he came out like that, I'd have died laughing. But anyway, he gonna get roasted. All right, here we go. Look at Uncle. Now, Uncle either going to work or he going to church. Or maybe he worked at the church. I don't know. Let's see.
Yo, where you going?
I told you I had to go to work.
Go to work.
Yeah, I'm old. I
What
told
you
you.
working?
I'm saying, why you looking? Why
I'm
you?
just saying, you can't kick them people out your house.
What you talking about? Don't nobody live there.
Motherfucker, a family of 5 live in them boots. Big boot, motherfucker.
Yo, my nigga, where you go? Where you go with the lady in the shoe boots? Where you going, son? How you working construction wearing them boots? No, real talk. Where you going?
2 trailer parks with, you got 2 mobile homes with chimneys on the motherfucker. You got smoke coming out. You can't kill people out.
Yo, stop that. I work hard for mine. Don't do that.
You working though?
Yeah, I work in these.
Yo,
What you do? Put down the lines. They put the white paint on your foot, and you just stick it out, and make the lines. That's motherfucking yard marker boots.
yard marker
Them
boots.
yard marker.
He said yard marker boots. Son. How you let Uncle sit? Man, if I'd have saw my uncle outside, man, I ain't going out there. What you mean? He finna roast me? I ain't going outside. Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. Yo, Unc's shoes were fire though. I want them shoes, man. I want these shoes. These shoes are clean. And they match the tie too. Man, what? That's crazy. They say y'all ain't got no culture. I don't know if I could play this because it got music. No. Maybe not. Maybe I could play it.
I'm Meadowlark Lemon. How do you do? These are the Globetrotters, old and new. They're waiting to meet.
Oh, you bastard. See? I hate when it does this, man. Come on. It was fire.
I'm Meadowlark Lemon. How do you do? These are the Globetrotters, old and new. They're waiting to meet you in this opening scene of a brand new show called a popcorn machine.
Pretty sure Meadowlark Lemon is not non-FBA, but I could be wrong. Somebody tell me. I'm pretty sure he's not.
I'm fearlessly in the Globetrotter clan. I love the ladies, so they call me Wolfman. Can't figure out why they gave me that name, because when the moon disappears, I still sing.
I'm Cuban Ozzy, I'm tough and I mean. I'm the roughest guy in the popcorn machine. I'm a rotten rat, all muscle and straw, but it don't mean a thing, cause I'm putting you on.
I love my team and I love the game. Freddie Neal is my proper name. I'm from New York City, Delaware. I'm known as Curly because I got.
I fuck with Curly. I fuck with Curly, man. I miss it. Them Globetrotters, boy. But you know, let them tell it. That ain't Black American culture. Let them tell it. By the way, that's a whole bunch of Africans up in there. Let me see something. Okay, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. We gotta talk. We gotta talk. I love my people to death, but this dagger and shit gotta go. Like I can't even play it. Should lick the boy and I mad. Why do you need the chair? What are y'all? Okay, wait a minute, folk. Okay, who just saw that? Jamaicans didn't invent that. I saw that with the swing dances back in the 30s. I'm gonna play it again. Not that. This here. I need someone to explain to me how where Jamaica get that from. Putting a woman's legs around your middle part of your body and you swing her around. Where'd y'all get that from? Y'all the people. A question me ask, where did you get that from? All right, here we go. We had them on. We had them on. We had them on. I can't play no more. I can't play no more. The hell is wrong? Go get a job. Okay, folks. We gotta get serious.
Put my frustration in.
We got to get serious. I gotta get serious for
presented to me. I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable with me having to put my hand back
Fair
in the
use.
window to unlock my door and put my hand back in the window to take my seatbelt off. So I wanted.
You bastard.
I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable with me having to put my hand back in the window to unlock my door and put my.
Now, backstory. This black woman. I've seen Fred Astaire do this, but I've also seen us do this. But let Jamaica tell it, they invented this. But context of what I'm playing, folks. This black woman got pulled over for speeding. Had her kids in the car. I think her husband with her too. The cop arrested her. And I think she's filing a civil suit against the police department. I'm only playing this video, folks, because there's something in here y'all need to hear. I want to see if somebody picks up on it. But here we go. And the cop also pulled out his gun and told her to shut up because she was asking too many. She was talking too much.
I am back in the window.
And she's pregnant.
To take my seatbelt off. So I wanted to make sure he was aware. And then when he proceeded to say that, I was like, well, I was speeding, So I was a little nervous and confused at that time, as well as afraid because of the things that he was saying to me. That's why I informed my daughter to record and the other one to call their dad, my husband.
Okay, so the husband wasn't like
it was very different.
Well, we played the clip of you explaining to the deputy why you drove to the gas station, and you explained that you were married, you have a master's degree, the kids were in the car. Why'd you tell him all that information?
Because I felt like he viewed me in a different light. I felt like by the things he was saying, he was kind of trying to bait me to be outside of my character, to kind of be a little more aggressive, to maybe even resist. And so I felt like maybe if I informed him of these things, that I'm not, maybe that type of person that he's usually, he may have been used to dealing with, an African American that is more aggressive or someone is more outspoken. And so I felt like if I explained to him that I'm this type of person, or I'm a well put together woman, that he wouldn't be so aggressive with me.
I don't think is it unusual to pull over to a well-lighted place? I mean, I've done that before, or off the show. I don't stop on the side of the interstate. I pull over to an exit in some place that is a bunch of lights. And I know sometimes they may not like that, but I had an issue in Georgia or Alabama years ago where
Did y'all hear what she just said? Did y'all hear what she just said? I wanted to show him that I was different than the people he's usually dealt with, African Americans. So this already tells me that she's a tether. Jacksonville, Florida gave it away, number one. Her forehead gave it away as well. Those earrings, I don't know no FBA chicks that wear them earrings. Number 4, you talking to Don Lemon. No FBA would sit up there and talk to Don Lemon unless it was get him told. And by the way, Don Lemon looking an old mess, boy. African Americans. I have a colleague. You told a race soldier, folk. What did I tell y'all weeks ago? That your flag not gonna save you. What you think you are and what you've accomplished is not gonna save you when a race soldier want to do harm to you. Did I not explain this to y'all? You have seen it now on full display. This female just said it. I'm gonna play it again. Y'all got to hear this.
Because to me, he had, I felt like he viewed me in a different light. I felt like by the things he was saying, he was kind of trying to bait me to be outside of my character, to kind of be a little more aggressive, to maybe even resist. And so I felt like maybe if I informed him of these things, that I'm not, maybe that type of person that he's usually, he may have been used to dealing with, an African American that is more aggressive or someone is more outspoken. And so I felt like if I explained to him that I'm this type of
Sorry, double coon.
person, or I'm a well put together.
Answer. One more time. Answer. Film animation art. Hello. Hello. I would love to speculate on where she's from, but I'm going to take a guess. This broad's got to be from Haiti. This broad's got to be from Haiti. Folk, she sat right there in front of Don Lemon, in front of a national audience, basically calling FBA Adolph and Friedman way aggressive, and her black ain't aggressive, so she shouldn't be. You, Mr. White Race Soldier, you should not be afraid of me. I could get to cooning when y'all need me to be. I mean, I'm sorry that I was running around in a gas station with my hands behind my back, but I just never experienced something like this, master. I'm so sorry. I got my daughters in the cars, and what had happened was I understand that I was wrong, but don't think that I'm one of these what they call Black Americans. I'm naturalized citizens. I'm like a dark-skinned Mexicans. Don't treat me like you be treating them. Don't shoot me. You can't shoot me because my flags covers me up, and I don't want to have you think that you can't Talkz to me. And I'm kind of glad my husband's not his, because I was trying to get out of the tickets by showing you my bazongas. But then my bazongas, you don't like chocolates. So I had to go to the race cards, like the Africans Americans be playing. And then they wonder why, when they be doing these bullshit Twitter rooms, they get 100-something people up in there, and all they do in there is argue. But then Tariq or Jason Black or Marcel or somebody else, Black Alpha Network and Beatzilla, do a room, get about 3,000 people listening to it, D-Tubman repost it, and more people hear it, and then you get more people in the grassroots understanding that there's got to be some changes made. And I got these dumbasses on CNN upset that they said something like that. I can't believe them Africans Americans don't want us in this group, in this treehouse. I can't understand it. I can't. All I was doing was space, master. You shouldn't give me a ticket. I'm not an Africans Americans. As a naturalized citizens. You goddamn natural head looking coon. This is the problem, folks. And see this. Okay, Miss Lady, I don't give a damn what your name is. Let me explain something to you. You didn't purport yourself right. You sat and did all this, went up on CNN, did that whole spiel. Before that, dealt with that race soldier, and did not show your daughters how to purport themselves in front of cops. Okay, let's play the game. Y'all know I like to play the game. Folks, let's speculate on what she said that forced the race soldier to pull out his gun. Because, again, according to her, let her tell it, she's not an African American. She one of them. She a Caribbean American. She's above the law. What did you say to make the race soldier pull out a gun on a Caribbean American? Would you like to play that game? Would you like us in this room to speculate? You sitting up there with them fake ass Eartha Kitt glasses on, trying to make yourself look like you somebody important. You clean up real nice when you have to act like an African American, when you have to talk about what a cop did to you. But let Don Lemon, with his white husband, who was probably the one that asked him that question, because I consider Don Lemon a white man. And we all know Jason Black's always said, if you want how a black person really feels, send them in front of a white person, let them ask the question. Pretty sure Jeff Zucker probably gave Don Lemon, make sure you ask that question. Why did you, on film, tell your degree? So let's talk about that. So you're basically saying FBA, Adolphs, and Freeman don't have degrees. That's what you're basically saying. You're like that tether that said in Black Alpha's room that, oh, all y'all do is scam off welfare. That's how you think. Well, ma'am, you just got a wake-up call. Yes, you did. But see, your wake-up call is a little different than a lot of other coons' wake-up call, because this wake-up call for you, you don't get let in. They're not going to take you in. You're not going to be, to use a phrase, you're not going to be the battered wife that gets led into the shelter. You're going to stay outside. You don't get to talk about race soldiers and what they did to you at a traffic stop, which, if you didn't say none of this, people would have said, okay, you know what, that is kind of wrong. They still would have checked your paperwork, but they said was wrong. There's race soldiers again doing what they do. But the second you sat there 50 seconds in saying, oh, I'm not like African Americans, I'm not aggressive, yet we just saw you running across the parking lot with your handcuffs on, you decided to tell a race soldier who doesn't give a damn about where you went to school that you have a degree. So you're using a black woman's stereotype. All we have is degrees. So, yeah, you tried to use that. He didn't care. I'm put together. That's the line that really pissed me off. So what? Let me guess. You're trying to say Black Americans are unhinged people, and like the Caribbean isn't unhinged yet. I just showed a video where Jamaicans are sitting there daggering chicks in the middle of the day, trying to break down a metal fence. That's not unhinged behavior. This is what FBAs and ADOS and Freeman have been telling y'all for months. Y'all clearly don't like them. Clearly. Y'all clearly think they're less than you. I told y'all already, that shit don't work up here. I said that in that video I did. That shit don't work up here. Them race soldiers, when they shoot you, they're not going through your pockets, whipping out the flag. It don't work like that. Case in point, my countryman, Sean Bell, 2006, got killed by race soldiers. They didn't find out he was Jamaican till after, when they talked to his mama and his fiance, who now had to live with that for 16 years. Her fiance dead the night before they were supposed to get married. Amadou Diallo, anybody, 41 shots, 19 of them hit. Oh, yes, M. Flournoy. I said it the other day as well. Sanford and Son. How the hell did Red Fox understand what was going on? And these immigrants don't. And it's been 50 years. He figured it out. But you want to sit up there and think you're a different kind of Black. Well, ma'am, guess what? You got your wake-up call. You're the same. Except the only difference is you have a country to run back to. They don't. Anyway, you can go to hell. I can give a shit. Let's continue. This idiot. Busta got no more rhymes. Is this Spliff Star, folks? I think that's Spliff Star. So this is the image they want to portray Black people as, Black rappers. All they have is drinks in their hands saying retarded shit. That's the Black rapper.
How the origin of hip-hop was started. The origin of hip-hop was started by the power of Black and Puerto Rican people.
And again, this Negro, Trevor George Smith Jr., up here lying. Black Americans created hip-hop. The origins started with them, and it will die with them. I know y'all don't want to hear that. Hey, Busta Rhymes, let me educate you a little bit, sir, since you want to run around and keep saying this. How about instead of you running your mouth about goddamn hip-hop, even though you're in it, why don't you be a boon and a connoisseur, a czar, even though you had that song, Czar, and help bring reggae music back? Sir, respectfully, because you're Jamaican like me. I did not see you tweet out. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I didn't see you tweet out, why are we letting a white group named Soulja get Best New Reggae Artist over 4 prominent Black, let you tell it, I'm just going to say your words, Black, aka Jamaican artists? Why didn't you use your power and influence up here to make sure Coffee Brown did not get faded into the background? Because apparently she was supposed to be the next up. Spice put in all that work. She got beat by a white group. Kabaka Pyramid lost to a white group. Y'all didn't push Cranium to the moon. all that considerable power and influence that you Jamaicans run around in hip hop swearing up and down that you have. Let me ask this question. Why in the hell have y'all not put together a coalition to see if you could get some of the Jamaican artists that have been banned from this country, get them special provisions to actually come up here and play? Because the people are actually clamoring for it. Busta Rhymes, sir, you talk a lot about hip hop. Blacks and Puerto Ricans created hip hop. Sir, why aren't you putting together a coalition, going down to DC, talking to Biden and the what y'all like to call the Jamaican vice president, Kamala, and y'all got the Jamaican over there in the Supreme Court, Kuntanji. Why aren't y'all talking to them? Say, listen, we got Jamaican artists that need to make some money up here. Y'all could get the tax money regardless. We got people up here that want to hear them. I'm talking about people like Beanie, Bone Tequila, Elephant Man, Barris Hammond, all these people that can't get a visa to come up here. You, Spliff Star, Shaggy, Sean Paul, Juliana, why aren't y'all in DC saying Jamaican artists need to have a chance to come up here and do their thing? I don't hear none of this. You running around everywhere, somebody put a camera, some liquor in your hand, talking about how Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans created hip hop. And without us, that there is no hip hop. When y'all couldn't even get reggae popping off in Jamaica in the 40s. Y'all needed American jazz to piggyback off of. So somehow, some way, people like Bob Marley and Toots and Maytals and the Maytals and all these other people can get inspired to do what they want to do best, perform in front of people, and get the opportunity to move up to the States and get that real money. Go to Canada, get that money. Go to UK and get that money. Go to Africa and get that money. I don't hear y'all talking about that. Reggae music is dying right now. Y'all worried about hip hop. Instead of having it, because everybody knows that at one time or another in the 2000s, hip hop, reggae, R&B, they were neck and neck. We were running music in every facet. Then R&B started going the way hip hop, and it slowly died out. Y'all let reggae die out because y'all wouldn't support the artists that were coming out of Jamaica. Do you really want to go there, sir? All them young artists that came out in Jamaica in the late 2000s, early 2010s, you and the rest of the Jamaicans them did not even want to go do business with them. But you sitting there doing business with some Puerto Rican dude out of the Bronx on a song and saying that he's your prodigy. Do you want to go there? And I ain't hating on the song. The song had a fire beat. I ain't hating on it. But this is what I mean. This is why people say that people from the Caribbean, African come from backstabbing cultures. You knew better, sir. A black FBA man gave you your name, and you took that and spit in that man's face by going on stage and going on, what was that, Drink Champs or whatever, saying this same bullshit. You knew better, sir. And you know better. You had FBA people put you on. I could understand if it was Kool Herc and them that discovered you and put you on. I could understand you saying that because you'd feel a way that, okay, Black Americans, the ones that really created, didn't really give me a shot because I'm Jamaican. But Kool Herc and them, they were outside those realms and they gave me a shot. They brought me in. They gave me my shot. Okay, I could understand you having that sentiment there. A black FBA man gave you your name. A black FBA man gave you your shot. A black FBA group gave you your shot. The Lost Boys, they gave you your shot. And you're spitting in the face of them. Because you're the only one out of that group that actually made it to the mountaintop. And you're spitting on their legacy. by saying what you're saying. And no matter how many times you hear people show you the information, call it out, you're still saying it. It's people like y'all that make people like me don't even want to rep where we're from, because y'all have tainted the shit. Now, I mean, I have Jamaican in my bio. I don't give a fuck. But I've seen a whole bunch of people say ignorant shit and they get called out on it. Now they don't even want to rep where they from. This is the situation where you're supposed to get your stripes back. You see your countrymen fucking around and you're supposed to say something to them. You don't let them continue doing that. So you're listening to a Jamaican man tell you this. Keep that up. People going to start boycotting your music. How you going to eat, sir? You don't own your masters. You don't own your publishing, sir. You haven't had a string of hits in years. When's your last album, sir? When's the last time Busta Rhymes dropping an album? Everybody's like, yeah, I got to get that Busta. But you got the nerve to be running on stages talking about how Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans influence hip hop. Sir, newsflash. When it comes time to get them coins, them Puerto Ricans are going to stab y'all in the back. Promise. You could sit around there and pal around with Fat Joe, who's another one, another culture vulture. Y'all can pal around all day and think y'all into something. I'm telling y'all right now, when the shit hits the fan and white supremacy comes and breaks y'all, don't be going looking at FBA and the rest of us and be one thinking that we gonna come save you. We gonna let you rot. And trust and believe the Yardie boy them who remember that you didn't help them, they're gonna remember that too. That's a little too long. I don't want to play that one. But let's go. Now this dude was on Amigo. I gotta calm down, folks. Give me a second. I gotta calm down. That's why I'm playing. And y'all trending again. So shout out to y'all. And fuck Fat Joe. He had the worst verse on New York, New York. I put that on Twitter. Maybe he blocked me. But he had the worst verse on there. And the fact that I'm hearing black folks sitting up there co-signing what he said and had this man say the N-word repeatedly in songs and y'all didn't check it. I mean, that's another subject for another day. But this black guy was on Amigo, and he brings Amigo is an app where you bring people in and y'all have conversations. It's kind of like FaceTime. FaceTime broken. I guess that's what we call it. And we all know what's going to happen when you have non-black people on there. What did they say, folks? What did they say?
Hello.
The guy we seen walking earlier.
No. What? Ask me a random question.
Are you a nigger?
I'm glad I recorded that. Well, hey, what's up? How are you?
Whoa, I like your nigger self. You're a nigger.
Hello?
Hey.
Hi. How much wood? What?
What?
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Niggers.
Hello.
The guy we seen walking earlier.
No.
What? Ask me a random question.
Yeah, folks, that happened to this man. That happened to that young boy. What is going on? RG Titan. Hold on. And Flournoy, thank you. We don't judge you based on your kid, folks. We know when the spirit agrees. Oh, I know. Don't worry. Buster's gonna get broken very soon. Bro, I was pissed when I saw this crap yesterday. RG Titan, did you see the second part? Oh, there's another video. I found it today. We have the second video.
Hello. How was your day?
Hey, nigga.
Hey. Hello.
What's up, nigger?
All right. Glad I recorded that. Say hi to my video.
All right.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, nigger?
All right. I'm glad I recorded that. I hope you have a good day.
Love you, daddy.
Hey, what's up?
Good you.
Pause.
Hey nigga.
Wow, why'd you just randomly call me the N-word?
No one said the N-word. Hey nigga.
But let DeSantis and his white supremacist buddies tell it. Racism isn't learned. So how the hell did they figure out how to do it? Cool. Okay. This video made no sense to me, folks. This made no sense to me.
You and I both know that you are capable of enjoying the rain and frolicking freely without filming it and then posting it to TikTok.
Okay, folks. So we already know this is one of these black feminist think pieces. We already know where this is gonna go. Okay, so a white woman goes outside in the rain and enjoys the rain, films it, puts it online. She's about to do a think piece basically saying this white woman shouldn't be allowed to do what she's doing. Question, folks, why as a black woman are you caring about what a white person does? See, when y'all see me do videos and white people are the subject, I'm usually doing something, recording on the news or making fun of them. I'm not sitting here doing think pieces trying to get in their mind. I don't want to get in their mind. I can't think like them. They can't think like me. Why are we doing think pieces on a white woman in the rain taking a video? Would you like white people to do think pieces on us when we do videos of, I don't know, cooking, going to the beach, doing dancing? Because they've done that on TikTok already, and y'all were the same black content creators that said the shit was racist. But now you get to do think pieces on this, but I want y'all to listen to what she says.
Now, you've just co-signed, okay? You've just co-signed at least 3 million, 8.5 by 11 front and back. People who just go out of their way to disrespect and dismiss the boundaries that black creators have set. And now you're one of those people. So I guess my question would be, why? Why is it so important to all of you to treat us like we don't matter?
What the hell? Wait, what?
Treat us like we don't matter.
What the hell is she talking about? How is this about black people? I missed this. I'm sorry. I saw a white woman frolicking in the rain for 5 seconds and then you doing a 54-second think piece. Where was black people involved in this? Maybe I missed it. Y'all saw the video. I was watching it. Where was the video? Where was black people involved in this? So you're pissed that she got views. You want to play it again? We play it again. Show me where black people were involved. Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. She looked like Drew Barrymore. I ain't gonna hold you. She do look like Drew Barrymore. I thought this was Drew Barrymore at first glance when I first saw it. I was like, why is Drew Barrymore outside in the rain? But okay.
You and I both know that you are capable of enjoying the rain and frolicking freely without filming it and then posting it to TikTok. Now, you've just co-signed, okay? You've just co-signed at least 3 million, 8.5 by 11 front and back. People who just go out of their way to disrespect and dismiss the boundaries that Black creators have set. And now you're one of those people. So I guess my question would be, why? Why is it so important to all of you?
Taking off your glasses don't make your think piece hit different.
We don't matter.
Ma'am, taking your glasses off don't make your hit piece think it don't make your hit piece hit different. What are you talking about? There was no Black people in this video. What are you except your stupid ass? What are you talking about? How is she disparaging Black content creators by going in the rain? That's probably her shower for the month. Oh my God. Black women, y'all got to rein your sisters in with these stupid think pieces. She sound like that idiot therapist. She said frolicking is in the rain is racist. What, you think she's throwing it in your face because she went outside and let the rain hit her hair? And you think you can't go outside in the rain with your natural hair? Is that what the message is? I'm trying to figure this out. And I gotta go soon because Torian is doing his show. But this is what I got. Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna hit a record today, folks.
Ari Double Coon.
Fancy. Fancy. And the ancestor also has to get in.
This is a sick Negro.
Really look, niggas be wildin'.
How you get on whatever? I think this was TikTok. How you get on TikTok saying something stupid like this? And Flo9, it was 1,000,001 other analogies she could have pulled from. They don't think that far ahead. But again, I mean, she got a tongue ring, so it is what it is. It is what it is. At least it's not the mark of the beast. All right, folks. Before
Fuck the nuts! Yo, we in the Bronx right now. Niggas want to be talking about the Bronx is dirty. Queens got the most rats out here. Queens is fucking dirty. Let's go! This place is a dump. I'm never coming back here ever again. Fuck the man! Let's fucking go! We smoking the Mets back right now, nigga. We out here lit, boy. Tomorrow we get it. Tomorrow.
Queens all day. You a pussy. Rock out. Suck this shit. Let's go.
Go Red Sox, baby. Go Red Sox. We always fucking know. Get this nigga the fuck out of here. Yankee. Fuck the Red Sox. And fuck the Mets. Yo, we in the Bronx right now. Niggas want to be talking about the Bronx is dirty. Queens got the most rats out here. Queens is fucking dirty. Let's go! This place is a dump. I'm never coming back.
Okay, folks. Now, I had to play that video because that's how New York used to be before the gentrifiers got to it. But I got to talk about this. Now, this video, it does warm my heart being a native New York. It does warm my heart. Mets and Yankees, there's a rivalry there, even though the Yankees don't want to admit it, but there is a rivalry there. Yes, they are wilding, but this is Subway Series baseball. This is always like this. This really popped off in 2000 when the Yankees and Mets were in the World Series together. So it is what it is. But two things. One, for that man to say that the Bronx ain't dirty and Queens is dirtier than the Bronx, Man, if you don't go sit down, dude, Hunts Point, we not gonna go there. Not only is Hunts Point dirty, sir, but y'all still got hookers selling tail up there. We're not the same. Okay? We're not the same. Yes, Flushing has those auto body places near City Field, which they're going to get rid of. And, you know, over by LaGuardia, that body of water does kind of smell. But for y'all to say that Queens is dirtier than the Bronx, y'all know better. People don't even want to move to the Bronx. People move to the Bronx because they're broke. You got to at least have money to live in Queens. This Negro on the screen right here, clearly from the Bronx, because only Bronx people drink out of Tim's. And he clearly is from the Bronx because he's wearing a Yankee jersey. Clearly. And the Bronx has all the Latinos up there, most of them. So we're not even going to go there. But you got it. Let's continue. Y'all like this. She said, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Even Anime said, I ain't letting Anime touch me. I don't care. Even if you look like me, you're not touching me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. And folks, we've come to the end of Twitter. I need to play this for y'all. I have to minimize myself. I need y'all to read and listen what this is. Now, this Hispanic woman put this up. Now, this is in regards to this video. So this light-skinned chick said, you deserve whatever happens to you if you get seafood salad shipped to you overnight. Now, this is a video of a black woman on Instagram showing how she makes seafood salad in her house and she ships it overnight. So this idiot does not realize that as a viable business shipping food, she has to adhere to certain practices. Now, it got so much traction that the black woman had to come out and explain that she ships with dry ice that she gets from Walmart. And she understands that, yes, it's food, and she has to be extra careful. Black people still want to understand why this black woman making all this food does not have a refrigerated truck like the big multinational companies. They need to know this, why she can't afford this. They debated this, folks. But this is not why I brought this up. I brought this up because this Hispanic woman who apparently has an empanada business in Jersey said, can black families be known for something other than struggle? The problem is prep from what I see. Therefore, if one is raising funds, put some toward it, doing things properly, not to further damage the reputation of those who do excuses. Okay, let me talk to Carmela real quick. Carmela. I'm in the food business. Carmela. Let me explain something to you. Okay. One comment I kept seeing through the thread was, y'all still trusting people making your food in their house. Again, this is another shot at Black Americans because everybody knows Black Americans used to sell food outside their house. Everybody knows this, but okay. We're not even going to go that far back. Ma'am, if you're operating a food service business, that would mean you'd have to take a food handler's course, especially if you're running a business that has to ship food. You can't ship food nationwide without having a food handler's license. You have to be at least ServSafe certified. Number two, it may look like she is not following good practices, but if you watch that video, number one, she has gloves on that reach up all the way to her shoulders so she can get in her bucket and mix her food around. Number two, yes, it's seafood salad. I know people are really about meat and fish being left out. We get that. Pretty sure she refrigerates it after she makes it, because she still has to seal it and then put it in the fridge. Folks, you have 6 hours to get your food at 40 degrees or below so bacteria does not form. 6 hours. So that means if you have food that you just made, you have 2 hours to get it down to 70 degrees. From the time you made it. And then you have another 4 hours to get it from 70 to 40. Technically, they say 41, but us in the restaurant trade, we try 40 because 40 is safe. The temperature danger zone is 41 to 135. Obviously, she understands that, which is why she invests in dry ice. She cools it down, puts it in the box with styrofoam, dry ice, seals it, mails it off. You have up to 2 days, sometimes 3, to get that food to somebody and they put it away, put it in their fridge or their freezer. Guess what? She only operates on overnight shipping. She couldn't sell food and then send it regular mail. It would spoil by the time it got there. But we got a Hispanic woman who's selling dry ass looking empanadas. That's not hers. Selling dry ass empanadas. Crapping on a black woman. And even when she gets called out on it, she still doubles down because that black woman got traction. And she's still at 42 followers. Nobody's asking for her to send her fake Jamaican beef patties over to them. This is what I mean, folks. We have no friends. But it is what it is. And we have come to the end of the show, folks. I'd like to thank y'all for coming in. And just remember, folks, just remember, for those who missed it again, before I go, the Patreon is live. So there are the membership tiers, $3, $5, and $7.50. For $3, you get early access to video uploads before they go live at 6 p.m. In the zone, $5 a month. You get every live stream. I shout you out before I start, regardless if you attend or not. And $7.50, you get the chance to give me show ideas. So if you would like to, just look at the pinned tweet up top and sign up for the Patreon. And that's it on the screen. I appreciate y'all. Now, I'm going to go and cook food and listen to Tori and Rain bring up the stories of the week and have fun. I hope y'all do the same. Take care. Stay safe out there. And remember, when you see a white supremacist, do this to him.